So I use PicThing. I'm sure most of you all heard of it. It's come from Theo. He's a YouTuber. He's great at what he does. And this is a great product. Essentially, it's a background removing tool. And well, I found it a bit cumbersome to be uploading the image to their website and then downloading the image every time I needed to do it. So I've built a macOS extension that allows you to do that with just one click. I'll show you what's going on. So let's jump over to the computer. So as you can see here, this is PicThing. It's the background removal tool for content creators. Essentially, it takes away the background in the image. Like here, this photo of Theo has no background and you can just see his hands. And it's really good at what it does. It's very good at removing the background and doing a very good job of that. Let's have a look at some of the stuff I upload to PicThing. See here, you've got like this photo of me or whatever. If you copy the link, you can open it in a new tab and this renders the full-sized image. And as you can see, it does a very good job. There's no sort of halo or anything like that around it. There's a bit around the hair, but that's not too bad. But you have to do those steps in order to download the image. I now have to right-click and download the image. It saves that image to my downloads, but I lose the name and all of that sort of stuff, which is quite inconvenient. So what I've done is I've added an extension. Let me show you. So I got this photo, similar photo. And all I do is go down here to quick actions and then go PicThing background removal. It takes a moment. You'll get a little processing indicator here. It's not sure how long that processing will take, but once the processing is done, you'll get the image with the name with underscore nobg.png. And there you go. It is the exact same image as if it had gone through PicThing because it has. You haven't uploaded it and you haven't had to re-download it. We've kept the name, we've kept all the key things you're interested in. So let me talk to you about how I work this out and how you can do this if you want to do it. So the pipeline kind of looks a bit like this. You upload the image and you want the no-BG image back. Ideally, you want the no-BG image in roughly the same place as where you want the image. So you just want to be able to go straight from the file and straight get the no-BG image. Of course, you can do this natively on Mac. There is the option that if you right-click quick actions, you can remove background. This I found to not be as good, and that is why I built this extension. I like the ability of doing that. See, it's removed the chair, but it hasn't removed a very good job as the chair's there, and there's quite a lot of haloing around my arms. I want that speed and efficiency, but with PicThing's amazing quality. So this is the pipeline. You upload the image, you get the no background image back, right? Okay. So what are the steps that take place during this process? So at some point during this process, there is some auth, which is done by Clerk. Clerk handled the auth for PicThing, so we're going to need to integrate with that. We are then going to need to use UploadThing. UploadThing, also made by Theo, is what they use to upload the image. But once it's been uploaded, it does all the background removal stuff, and then what we essentially have to do is go to a URL, to then download the image. Those are the 3 steps. So now that we know the 3 or 4 steps we need to do, we need to look at what we're going to need from the client. So what I did here is I jumped into the terminal session and I had a look. And well, knowing what I know about Clerk, it most likely has the 2 things, the session ID and then the sort of refresh token. These are the things we're going to need probably to be able to make this work. The way Clerk appears to work in this circumstance, I'm not sure if this is always how it works, is it seems to generate, using this, a JWT token that is used for the upload. So essentially, we're going to send this information away to Clerk and we're going to get a really short-lived JWT. We then have to use that JWT to authenticate with UploadThing and to get the background removal. So that's actually quite straightforward to do. We just go to the standard session endpoint at Clerk, giving it the refresh token and getting back the really short-lived JWT. I've implemented this in some code in the Xcode project, so I'll show you that now. So here is the code. As you can see, it's a fetch token. It takes in the client token, which is essentially the refresh token, and then the session ID. The session ID goes part of the URL. I've just copied all of the parameters that it was sending previously in the website, as well as adding the client token as a cookie. We then get back a JWT. Of course, if there are any errors in this, I just throw the errors up the stack, and that's that. The token is then used to make a request to UploadThing to get a pre-signed URL. The next step is to post the information about the file to UploadThing. So UploadThing wants to know the size of the file, the type of the file, and some other parameters like last modified and stuff like that. We then send that to UploadThing, and out of that we get back a pre-signed URL, the upload file URL. So now what we need to do is we need to upload the file. So that's pretty straightforward. Upload file. And in response, we get the URL that the file has been saved at. Once we have uploaded the file, we then get back the save URL. We then need to use this URL to go to the background remove endpoint at PickThing, which takes in the upload URL and returns the image in a PNG format. The next thing we need to do, realistically, is save image to user location. We just save the image back to the original location where the user is doing that. That's it. We take in the user image and then we do all these steps, then we save it. Having implemented this all in code to allow me to do this extension, I'll go through and I'll show you all that. But if you are interested in doing this and being able to use this yourself, it is linked in the description to the GitHub. It only requires you to enter 2 parameters, the session ID and the refresh token. You do that in the main application. I'll just show you that now. So if you've got what I've called the PickThing application on your device, once you've downloaded it from the GitHub and you've compiled it, it'll ask you for the refresh token and the session token. You can get both of these from the cookies on your browser, and I've said what they are. So the session ID is the Clerk active context, and the refresh token is the __ client. Just save that here and then it instantly works. If for whatever reason it has an error uploading your image, do not worry, your image will stay there and you'll get a text file explaining to you exactly what went wrong in the upload, whether that be auth or changing the API or whatever it might be for future debugging purposes. If you have any issues, make sure to put them on the GitHub and we'll get them sorted. So in the code, in my Xcode project, I have the PickThing thumbnail. This is essentially a action extension, meaning we're going to present an action that the user might want to take quickly that does something within our application. What this does is this takes in a list of files. This takes in an NS extension context. Inside of this context, we're going to do all the steps we need to do. So we'll get the client tokens from the main application that you saved. We're then just logging that out, and then we're just going to build up a context to make sure we got some attachments, that you attached images into it. We're going to show these attachments as outputs so that they stay where they are and we're just adding to them. We will then make sure that your Clerk information is valid and get you a JWT for Clerk. Then we loop over all of the inputted attachments and then we send each one of them directly to upload thing. This happens down here where we get a pre-signed URL on the file information. Then we upload the file, and then the next thing we do is we download the background removed URL. And once that is done, we make sure we get the image and process the data. We then create that as an image that we can save back to its original location, and we append that to our output. And once we get all the way to the end and we've finished dispatching all the groups, we call that the context has completed the request and we return the files to you. If at any point we error out, we generate a text file, but you can look at that in the code. It will generate a text file at any point if there's an error and send that to you so that you can see in detail what went wrong. That's kind of that. That's literally it. It's a very simple application. I'm just reverse engineering some of their APIs. I hope you found this one interesting. And if you are interested in this project, do check it out on GitHub. Give it a star. Give me a subscribe and a like because that makes a massive difference. And I'll see you in the next one.